The ending of Digimon Paradox seemed like it might end up rushed and messy, with all the time loops and paradoxes it had to sort out. But in the end, it became more of a tribute to what Digimon has always stood for. Reiji gives up his memories to create a new timeline, a future without rain, and leaves behind a powerful message. Digimon aren't weapons. They're partners. It's a satisfying conclusion for both protagonists, with their hopes and wishes finding a place in the story's complexity. And it all ties back to a symbolic date. 2025, the year Reiji formed the first partnership with the Digimon Wanya, and the year the comic came to an end. In Digimon Get Back, picking up from the preview we saw at Digimon Con, the story shifts as history itself is rewritten. The Chosen Children launched a surprise attack on Clockmon's tower. Hugh Laoisia, knowing the Dark King could control time, and Akira landed right in the middle of it. That's when Skull Satamon appears, and Taro, exhausted from always running away, decides he's done being a coward. At that moment, Agumon tells him he's been waiting 25 years for this. Those years weren't just for waiting, they were what allowed him to move past fear, and that becomes the real meaning of the final key they needed. Not a heart without fear, but one that feels fear and chooses to rise above it. That act of courage lets Agumon, now Taro's partner, evolve into Dinomon. The past gets rewritten, but Taro's memories are preserved inside his Digivice. The idea of it being like a New Game Plus is an interesting way to describe it, especially with the twist of Taro being married to Akira in this altered reality. In the finale of Digimon Recollection, Mayu faces off against Armagemon, a real Digimon that had been forgotten after the Digimon Summoning app game ended its service. Mayu manages to send it back to the digital world, but not before illegally uploading the game's data to the internet, triggering all kinds of glitches and malfunctions. Armagemon is defeated by Shine Greymon, who wields the Omega Blade from Paladin mode, a clear homage to Diaboromon Strikes Back. The chaotic internet setting also mirrors the atmosphere of our wargame, packed with nostalgic nods throughout. One of the most touching moments comes at the end. We see the protagonist from the award-winning comic that once earned Okutsuwa recognition, happily playing with Lalamon and surrounded by butterflies, even getting to see her brother again. Interestingly, the illegal upload has an unexpected side effect. Digimon merch prices start to soar, turning the whole thing into a win for the franchise. In the end, Mayu understands he doesn't need to forget the past. He can revisit it anytime, especially the things that matter most to him, like Digimon. In the fourth and final issue of Digimon Knuckles, everything comes into focus. Haruka's father had been brainwashed and forced to hand over nearly all of the transfer gadgets, devices that let Digimon cross into the real world. Bloomlord Mon mistook him for the one who burned down the forest. Gravely injured, Haruka's father asks Gankumon to protect his son and be the kind of father he couldn't be. He passes Gankumon the one gadget he managed to keep hidden, a wristwatch. Gankumon defeats Jesmon using Craniomon's spear. There's a quiet moment when Gankumon touches Hackmon's head. Jesmon had believed what Levimon told it, that it was weak for failing to surpass its teacher. But Hackmon never cared about that. All it wanted was Gankumon's attention. Gankumon calls out Leviamon's manipulation, saying it's just jealous of humans and of Examon, and Gankumon refuses to be brainwashed or let that same jealousy get to it. The reason? It's too damn stubborn. A great little character detail. After the final fight, Haruka is reunited with his father, who built a shelter for the Digimon who were sent over, and he and Gankumon moved between the worlds, helping clean up the aftermath of the incident. As for Leviamon, seems it's under control, especially with Examon keeping a watchful eye on it. The heartwarming comedy by Tenya Yabuno delivers more hilarious moments, like Leopardmon quoting Socrates, "I know nothing except the fact of my own ignorance." The philosophical undertones continue with Craniamon, who's devoted to Yggdrasil, telling Dynasmon that if it's worried about Yggdrasil's true intentions, even after being chosen by it, then it has a duty to keep worrying. There's also the usual absurdity, like Wanya casually getting a tattoo just like Gallantmon's digital hazard mark, as if it's no big deal. Or Dynasmon's face when it finds out Gallantmon doesn't read any holy scriptures, but instead an anger management manual. The Digimoji on the book are a perfect match for the joke too. Training to calm anger. Wanya's nearly completed its collection of Royal Knight autographs, except for Alphamon's, whose whereabouts remain unknown. In one scene, it unleashes a powerful attack on Dynasmon out of nowhere, because it doesn't want its autograph when it doesn't have Alphamon's either. It ends with this pair of immatures licking lollipops, staring out at a world shrunk to a floating island with Examon claiming half the sky. In the final issue of Digimon Seekers, Wolslum's Nightmare, Orochimon evolved into Nidhoggmon. But it still carries her memories, those of a woman who had been digitally missing in action at Aberdeen Electronics for years. She had been wandering Wolslum. She witnessed how Aberdeen Electronics refused to stop their experiments, despite the harm done to so many Digimon. All she ever wanted was to be friends with them. Prolonged exposure to the mind link caused her mental data to merge with her partner's Digicore. While her body lay comatose in the real world, her consciousness remained trapped in the digital realm. Eventually, her mental data merged completely with the Digicore and was lost while her physical body died. Aberdeen Electronics prioritized the experiment over everything else, and she became DMIA. The current situation must have disturbed her, caught between not fully human and not quite Digimon. Attempts to separate her mental data fail as it triggers a rampage among the Digimon. She cannot be saved. She is no longer human, just corrupted data. She says she hears the voices of the Digimon who were cast aside. They have been combined with her just as she was fused with Nidhoggmon. Their combined attack finally pierces through Nidhoggmon's Digicore, causing the missing Digimon's Digi-Eggs to fall from the shattered monster. The issue closes with Lugamon telling Eiji that Wolslum can be a hellish place, but they can still find ways to enjoy themselves as long as they stick together. Overall, as a conclusion to the Digimon comic series, I'd say Wanya has quietly taken the spotlight. Time travel and paradoxes were recurring themes often used to reframe characters or reset circumstances, while the Royal Knights remained a constant presence, not just as powerhouses, but as figures others tried to understand. Were they truly noble? Simply burdened by conflicting duties? Were they guardians, like parents to humans or baby Digimon? Agumon was a constant, familiar yet reimagined through different evolutions and variations, always a central figure to the world. And of course, it's impossible to avoid at least mentioning or implying just how massive Examon is.